Hi, and thanks for watching. I've been doing a lot of work with the knives. People weren't so happy with the choice that I had in my bug out bag, and as I've researched them more and actually used a lot of them, I kind of have to come to agree. Now, before I'd been carrying a folder, and these are Spyderco knives, both of these. I've always had these. This one is a VG10 steel, and it's actually quite an excellent knife. And then this is one of their salt knives, the H1, which is actually hardened in nitrogen so that there is no oxygen in it. It will never rust, beyond stainless. While they're great, two things. One is that I'm learning to sharpen my own knives, and obviously that's not really practical with the serrated, at least not in the field. And beyond that, they simply don't have the strength of some other knives. So I picked up some other ones, and I've been really happy with them. I wanted to show you those. This is easily the strongest knife that I own. This is a Fallkniven S1. This is a forest knife, 5.5-inch blade, full tang, etc., as would be expected in something like this. Convex edge. I have used this really hard. I mean, trying to do something to it for a lot of just batoning, and really beat it up. As you can tell, I've hurt the finish, but there's been no signs of rust. There's been nothing on it. I was working at a foam pedestal, and I dropped it, and the blade hit against the door of the foam, and it took a big chip out of there. People say that it's prone to chipping, and it fell about 3 foot onto the door, right like that, and it did have that, but I was able to grind it down with the DMT stone just fine, and goes right through paper. So I don't have it quite shaving sharp yet. I'm still learning how to sharpen the knives, but this knife has been absolutely excellent, and I'd recommend it to anyone. Should be able to get it for in the $120 range. A little more of an elegant piece. This is Bark River Knife and Tool. This is a buffalo horn handle, and this is their tusk knife. Now, as you can see, look how thick the tang is on that. It's just a hulking piece of metal in there. This is 12C27. It's not quite as high end of a steel as the VG10. Very easy to home sharpen, full convex edge, and use this for a lot of carving, just figurines and stuff. But it's totally usable as an outdoor survival knife. It's incredibly tough and strong. Has a really sharp spine on the back, for fire stealing. And I've actually really enjoyed the sheep's foot blade style on it. Stays sharp virtually forever, which I wouldn't have expected from what's not really a super steel. As for my most used knife, I have the Izula here. Now, I've got some real problems with this knife, but the truth is it's in my pocket all the time, and I use it 100 times a day. I strip wires with it when I'm just sitting around, whittling sticks and stuff, and I've become very familiar with this knife, its strengths and its weaknesses. I love the sheath that it comes with. Is incredibly secure. There's no way it's ever going to come out of there. It just takes a real jerk to get it out. And a lot of people actually blame filing down the nodes inside to make it come out a little easier. I've left mine. I haven't cord wrapped it. I've actually kind of gotten hardened as to where I hold it, getting a little bit calluses. The knife is great. It goes right through the rubber on the sheaths of the wires. Great for wood. It's in a little bit of need for sharpening right now. The one thing is, it's a 1095, which is a reasonable steel, but it is high carbon, and it's rusted. In fact, it's rusted a lot. I hope you can zoom in and see on the serial number and the name how much speckling rust there is in there, and even with oiling, it just doesn't stay oiled. That's where I hold it in my hand too, the EC knives. That's where I hold it in my hands, and when I'm using it, for 20-30 minutes, it's just soaked in sweat. And I've had a lot of issues with that. I just can't even seem to get rid of the rust on it. Rust on the blades. The blade does rust quite a bit. Now, granted, it's often 85 degrees here and 80% humidity, and so you would expect any knife to rust, but with the amount that I use it, I simply can't keep a good oil on it, and so I'm pretty much going to stick to stainless steel knives from now on. In a survival situation where you can't change your gear and you've got to rely on it, I really consider this more of a shelf knife. I don't think that it's something that you could really go out there and survive with, simply because the rust has been constant. Every day there's a coat of rust on it that I have to sharpen off. That said, I use it all day, every day. It's incredibly tough, has a wonderful warranty. If it ever breaks anywhere for any reason, they'll replace it, And for the price, for $40 you can't do better than that. So these are my knives, and thanks for watching.